questions for ITPAA alums to learn different skills. Like we talked about, people wanting to learn JavaScript and learn other things like, how to use GitHub or how to use Git. And we came up with a whole bunch of ideas on what we might be able to do. And then really settled down, since it's close to graduation time, connecting with...
Well, what are Flybys? Some people actually from past years, Flybys I think started in like 2009 or something.
No, Flybys have been around for a long time. Like, there's maybe not
the same thing as Flybys.
Yeah, it's Flybys.
Okay. So the name was actually changed out of.
Yeah, so peer-to-peer teaching once a week that happens on the floor, where one person's in charge of organizing them, and it's always a different person every week teaching not random, but a skill that people or offering.
And starting with recent alums and new alums, giving them a 4-week series on how to develop a portfolio. So starting week 1, really about defining, who are they, what do they offer, discrete tasks that they have to deliver on, so that once they walk out of that session, they need to be able to put together a first iteration of the portfolio. And then also know what their deliverables are going to be for the rest of the series. So then next in week 2, they really look at, where do they want to do it and where do they want to be. So like, how do they research companies, how do they understand organizational culture, and understand how to craft their portfolio and their resume to target other companies or to target these cultures. So they're more likely to get interviews, more likely to get jobs, better be able to sell themselves. And then finally, in week 3, talk about how do they tell their story, how do they talk to people, how do they have great interviewing skills. And then finally in week 4, how do they just keep it going where throughout their career, keep revising their portfolio, keeping it up to date, and making sure that they stay on top of it, and also do a series of conferences.
So we were thinking with the structure of this workshop series, instead of it just being a set of talks like Flybys tend to be, that each session would have a talk that is given by some experts that have some information that they can share. And then there would also be kind of a peer-to-peer feedback session where people are actually being held accountable for the deliverables that they are creating in this portfolio development workshop. So the idea there is people can take the information that they learned from the previous week and then apply it to whatever kind of specific portfolio development they feel they need to do for themselves based on the story that they're telling about themselves.
To follow up on what you were just saying, one of the things we talked about that's really important is that it's portfolio in air quotes, right? It really depends what you want to do out of ITP or after ITP. So if you're a visual designer or you want to do visual design jobs or that kind of thing, how do you do that? If you want to be a coder, how do you present your code snippets? How do you talk about that for other people? So not just portfolio as in web, but portfolio as in how do you tell a story about yourself,
Your experience,
yeah.
what you bring these.
Whether that's for jobs with agencies or you're looking to collaborate with artists, and how do you find those people? How do you present yourself to make them interested in what your work is?
To keep this moving forward past today, I put together a trouble board that holds us accountable, allows us to assign tasks to one another. So we've already, we have a GitHub page for shared code that might be related to this. We have this syllabus in a Google Doc. We started a blog for the workshop, and we've already reached out to Midori about having something for this begin soon for recent grads. And then once we get approval from her, we'll start recruiting speakers and putting together a schedule. Because we'll need a place to post all this. We threw together a rough draft of an ITP Alumni Association website with some information, mission statement, and a way for people to sign up about notifications. And it's all just hard-coded without open back end. That's something that we can get out there and people get information from sooner rather than later.
Great, and this is not the site for the portfolio workshop, but specifically a larger, just like basic site for the Alumni Association, which I know keeps coming up over and over again. We realized since we're ITP, it's good to just do a rough prototype and just throw what are the very basic needs that we need right now, and that is, what are the latest announcements that we need to tell people, and what is the Alumni Association, and then how can people get involved in there. So, is that So that is it for.
Yes.
So for this 4-week portfolio review process, how do you imagine it sort of, what's the relationship to that, say like the launch thing? That's like
Yeah, so we actually want